All right, welcome everybody. Hope everybody can hear me and see me okay. Got stuff to go over with here. All right. Good day from Canada. Good morning from Atlanta. Good morning to everyone. All right, guys, let's get started here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started, I want to show you this. Let me open this up here. I sent this document over to Bill. I don't know if I need to share it on the screen, but my from Phemex, our team over at Phemex responded saying, thanks for your patience. I've received confirmation from our team. Only 3 users are eligible for manual binding, highlighted in green. Manual binding means just they can do it themselves and put you under the Crypto Renegades account. For those of you who applied or opened up an account with Phemex without using our referral link, it looks like only 3 of you were able to do that. For the rest, they have 2 options. Create a new account using your referral link. And when I say the rest, I don't mean all of you. I just mean the ones who already had accounts under either different referral links, or maybe you got a referral link offline or on some, YouTube channel or something besides the Crypto Renegades one. So one, you either create a new account using your referral link, remain unverified as the perks do not require KYC. This is the fastest solution. And number 2, alternatively, they can email the support, our support contact directly for further assistance. And I also wrote, she says, I also wrote an email guide they can just copy and paste if they will go through this option. Please refer to tab 4 using to users who didn't use the referral link, no KOL in the following sheet, blah, blah, blah. All right, it's a little confusing to read it for you guys not to understand what I'm talking about, but basically there's a list we sent them. Crypto Renegades UID codes. These are your user ID numbers from Crypto Renegades. We sent them that list. And there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 20 people who used someone else's referral link, some other KOL. KOL is someone like me, someone who has a referral link that has certain privileges or benefits with Phemex. So those people I'll have Bill message you directly. I sent him this list, so you'll know which ones need to just set up a new account if you care to. If you're not having any problems or issues with Phemex, then you don't need to do anything. And then there's the people that are on the list that are under Crypto Renegades, have no issues and no action is required. And then there's the people that are under review. And there's probably about 100 of those people that are under review that maybe already had Phemex accounts that didn't use our referral link because they had one prior to us having referral link. So anyway, long story short is we got it all broken down. We got it all figured out. I'm going to get sent it over to Bill this morning. So for those of you that don't need anything, you will probably not get any notification if you're not having any issues or problems and you use the right referral link. those of you who are under a different KOL, meaning you use somebody else's referral link and you're not showing up as a Crypto Renegades in their system, you will get notified by Bill or myself. Is there anybody currently right now on this call that's actually having an issue? Chris, how do we know if we are not on the right list? Do you have a Phemex account opened up, Chris, and you used our referral link and you opened your account without any problems? Then you are not, then you don't have any issues. This is a list we put together a while ago for people who are having issues with Phemex, who maybe didn't use the right referral link or already had an account before we had a referral link. So this is something we've been working on probably longer, since before you came aboard. What kind of issues are there? There are no issues if you don't have any issues. There's only, you would know if you had issues. All right. If you are having issues, send Bill a link or a DM in Discord. If you're not having issues, then there's nothing for you to worry about. I don't want to bring up or create problems that don't exist for anybody. So with that being said, we'll get on with business here. Most people are not having issues, just so you know. It's just a handful of people who opened up accounts prior to us or prior to using our referral link, or maybe they use someone else's referral link by accident and they're not showing up in the system as Crypto Renegades. There are some extra perks being under the Crypto Renegades flight. You get special VIP white glove access, customer support, and additional tutorials and trainings from Phemex that are not in our coaching program on how to use their platform. If your name is M Pearl, Dev Martorella, or Dev Martorell, I got a Bill, but I don't know who the last name is on Bill. But there's only 3 people that will be switched over without any problems, so don't worry about that. We'll go over it. For those of you who are on this list, we'll just message you privately so we don't have to take up this call with it. All right, so what we're looking at here is Bitcoin US dollar index, the weekly. We do have the blue line that did cross the orange line to the upside and is above the dotted line. That is bullish. We did pump up. We did break out of the downward trending resistance. Now there's a big red candle, probably just some consolidation. This is the weekly. Let's go down to a lower time frame, see what that looks like. So this was the downward trending falling wedge. We broke out to the upside, retested, started to climb. We hit another resistance level here, broke out. We might just be coming down to retest that. This resistance level here was just this support and resistance going all the way back. And that's probably what we're coming to retest right now. If I were to guess, I would say right here. Support, support, and resistance, support, resistance. So it's Monday. We're going into Monday. We did double top up here. And here's something that's interesting also, guys. This little double top right here also happens to be right. If I just adjust this a little bit, boom, right on that red line. And what is that? That is the big red line going all the way back. If I go up to a higher time frame, you'll see this red line right here. We hit it. That was resistance going all the way back to 2021. Get rid of some of this other stuff. We hit it here in December of 2024 at 108K. We went into January, hit 109, hit it again here, dropped all the way down to 74.5, falling wedge, breakout. We came up and hit it again here at 112. We broke through it here, first time ever breaking through that. Well, not first time. Yeah, first time ever. Because I mean, we were only counting that since 2021 as an upward trending resistance. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points going all the way back to 2021. We broke through it here, retested as support, came up higher to 124, and then fell through it. I know I went over this on the last call, but just to reiterate, we come back up to it and hit it as resistance. So we do need to get above that. And also here is the top, the overall ceiling. Bring that all the way over to here. Bring this all the way over. So we do have an apex. We have a ceiling, horizontal. We have an upward trending support. This yellow line going all the way back to 2015. I'm sorry, 2000, going all the way back to 15,000, I meant, which was the bear market bottom in 2022. We hit it, went through it, resistance, 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 went through, resistance, resistance, went through support. Wick down to it here, boom. Wick down to it here, boom. Hit it here, wick through it, came back up. This one wicked all the way down to the 74.5, which was the previous resistance here, and did not hold below this line, went right back up above it. And here we are now, possibly coming to it again. So we do have the possibility of coming back down, coming back up, coming back down, coming back up, breaking out. There is no telling how this line's going to look, but we did not hit this upward trending support line yet. So for me, I mean, I had this circle here back when we were in this falling wedge, thinking that's exactly where we would drop to right here. Boom, before breaking out. But we broke out before that, but we're having a hard time. We did get above the 112. We also got above the 113.5, which did flip. It did flip this EMA ribbon. And so now it looks like it might just be coming back to retest the ribbon. So we got the EMA ribbon, and we have the 50-day moving average, this purple line right here. We hit it. We wicked through the ribbon, hit that, broke through that, and we're retesting that right now. Look at that. Boom. That might be the only bounce we need on this ribbon, but there's a long wick to the upside. The bears are pulling it down. And we move that line and just touch those two. We did wick right up to that, which is very interesting. So to me, that just confirms that that line is real. That is a resistance level going all the way back to 2021. On the daily, we also have a big curve on the stochastic RSI. The blue line is crossing the orange line to the downside now, and we did hit the top, which is the 100. As you can see, overbought territory, cannot get any higher, does not ever get any higher than that. And that was right here where we wicked up, right here where we wicked up. So it could be that we are just on an upward trending trajectory. We had a low and a higher low. We had a high and a higher high. So in the short term, it could look like this. And we're just bottom, top, top, bottom. Could be bottom, top. It could be just trending up right now. And this is just in the short term, just a little turnaround here. But it's too early to tell. We are in the beginning of the week. It is Monday, and we did not shoot up on Monday. Overnight, I mean, Sunday, seems to me that we climbed. Yeah, we started to drop over the weekend like normal. And this could just be, now that it's Monday, could be time to bounce off this 50-day moving average, this purple line, which it does tend to do. Bounce, 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 bounce. We did get above it. That's good news. We did flip the EMA. That's good news. And on the weekly, the RSI is crossing the orange line into the shaded zone, which is bullish. That's usually what happens right before a big pump to the upside. So with that being said, some whales did dump a lot of XRP over the weekend. Nothing to really be worried about. No rhyme or reason really for that. Here's Bitcoin, downward trending channel, breakout, retest, climb, 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 hitting what appears to be somewhat of a resistance ceiling up here, which is now winding into a apex wedge. Was very obvious. Resistance, support, 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 resistance, support, support and support, resistance, support, resistance, 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 hitting the bottom of the upward trending support now, winding into a wedge, coming into the new week. I'm hoping to see a breakout to the upside. So to me, I'm not in any trades at the moment. The ones that I were in, I got taken out in profit. They hit my stop loss and I moved into profit. And I'm waiting now because this was a strange weekend where we did pump up on Sunday and then drop down coming into Monday. Now, after looking at this, I'm going to wait to see where we break out here. If we fall below this upward trend, there's probably not a big drop, but we could come back down. We could stay in this channel. I mean, it is technically, it's not really a channel yet. We're in it, but we only have one touch point down here, and we did have some resistance up here. So I would say that this would need to do this and come down here and hit this, come back up and hit this in order for that to be a channel. So right now, not really a channel. But it was major resistance back here at 112 back in May. Support, support, resistance, breakthrough back to the upside. And we are climbing in an upward trending support line here. And the only thing, that I see really, nothing really outrageous. We're hitting resistance at 116.8 right there. Might it be 116.7 to be exact. Double top, curve down and drop, but we didn't drop very far. So we could just come down and hit whatever the next support level is, what was previous resistance somewhere in here. And that would look like one of these wicks here. It would just be like coming down and hitting that, coming back up. XRP took a big dump. I mean, we were in the very similar upward trending channel with a resistance and we broke through it, whereas Bitcoin stayed below. And then we come down, hit it as resistance, as support, break through that, and then hit it as resistance here. So what we have here is possibly a head and shoulders on the 1 hour. We also have a high, a lower high, lower highs, and lower highs. That's technically downward trending for sure. Let's just take the height of this and see. We already went that low. We did. We dropped right down exactly to that level on the 1 hour, and we bounced. Also, we're bouncing right here. Support. know, it's support and resistance, support, resistance, support, 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 all the way going back. So, yeah, could be ready to climb back out of that. Might have just been a little retest. It happens sometimes, even when you have an upward trending support line, that we break through it to the downside just enough to retest previous support, previous support. And then we continue to climb up. And we could do that again here, where it comes down just enough to retest previous support. And then it could look very similar to this little. We are due, I believe, guys, for all of these to pump. This overall downward trending falling wedge that I have here, going all the way back from July, when we were up here in the $3.68 range for XRP, is a major falling wedge and bullish, and we did break out. Breakout should bring us up to somewhere up in this range, in the $4.30 range. So if you're still in this trade and you didn't have if you didn't move your stop loss too close and you didn't get taken out and you're still in it, I would stay in it. What I'm going to wait for now at this point is a breakout back above this previous resistance, support, resistance. We got to get back above that, and then I'll be long again on XRP. I will post that in the trade, in the chat, in the signal channel rather. And then the next one I wanted to talk about was Ethereum, because Ethereum is on a rip. I mean, Ethereum is like still, I mean, we came up here and hit all-time highs up here at almost 5 grand, 49.56. And of course, with that, you have major consolidation, which we did, a falling wedge, very similar to XRP and Bitcoin. And we also broke out to the upside, and we're just retesting major support. So everything's looking very similar. You know, it's all correlating, I think, still. We have this upward trend going all the way back to June.
Hey, Nico, I got a question about that trade. When did it
Yes.
hit the 49.56? Was that not this week or this weekend, right?
No, that was August 24th.
Well, I did the setup I copied your setup and I had I believe a take profit at like 49.02, but I see my position closed yesterday at like 45.80 something. I don't understand why I did that. I mean, I closed in profits, which was good, but I was
You had a take profit target at 49.02 or a stop loss?
uh-huh. I had to take profit. Um,
Did you get an email letting you know why it closed, like a liquidation notice or a stop loss hit or anything?
No, I was watching that margin ratio because I understand if that gets too close, it can close out the trade. And they weren't even close; they were actually pretty good. But um, I haven't checked the emails.
Were you on a Ethereum? You're talking about Ethereum. Were you on an Ethereum margin?
I did
Or,
your Bitcoin and your Ethereum, and I'm still in the Bitcoin one.
okay. Were you on a an Ethereum margin or USDT?
Uh, how do I tell? Let me see. Let me go to
You
my
trading
profile.
USDT against Ethereum
Yes, I
or
had Ethereum USDT
yeah,
perpetual.
okay.
It sounds like you moved your stop loss into profit and it came down and took you out.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. It took me out in profit. I
You're
moved
right.
mine too
That's
close.
exactly what I did.
Did you move your stop loss?
I did. I moved it to what you taught. So yes, that makes sense. To the
Yeah.
45.87 because that's what you said. That's what we got. We all got taken out.
Yeah, let me look. Not everybody does what I say I'm doing, but
I try to listen.
well, it's not always. I mean, sometimes it works out
That's
when
what
you want.
happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I moved stop loss further into profit to 45.87, and that's when it went. It just came back and hit it right there.
Yeah.
I was right under this line.
Still did pretty good though.
Oh
So
yeah.
Thank
that
you
was a
for
good
that.
trade.
Yep.
Hey, Nico.
I just feel better going to sleep knowing that if I wake up and it's continue going the right direction, I'll have made a higher profit. And if it turns on me, I will not lose anything. It'll still take me on profit. That's just me personally. But if I would have left my stop loss far away, I'd still be in the trade and I'd still be in profit. But it would just be a lot less profit. So I can always re-enter.
Right.
Go ahead. Someone was talking.
Yeah, Nico, I just had a quick question. Can you explain when you're putting these trades in, when to use last price versus mark price?
Yeah, your microphone is very low. It's hard to hear you, but I think you're asking me what the difference is between market price or last price or
That's right. That's correct.
yeah.
Mark price.
I always trade market orders, and I'm always on.
It defaults to last price, which is the price on the exchange.
Yeah, they changed that then. You used
Yeah,
to
they
be able
did.
to change it.
I think you still change it, but they defaulted it to last price. Where is that at?
And your charts are saved respectively as well.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Mine's on the upper right
here it
under
is.
the trading view. Yeah.
Yeah, they moved it over here. Sorry. So I'm on mark price.
Nico, why do you use market all the time instead of isolated?
I always use isolated.
Okay, thanks.
Isolated is the leverage up here. And I'm always on isolated. There is a reason for cross, but if you don't know what that reason is, don't use it.
I think she meant limit. I think she meant limit versus market.
Between limit and market.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing.
That's okay. I mean, a market is, to me, is when I'm placing a trade, I see a trade setup, or let's say I want to enter right here. I want it to take effect immediately. I want to place a market order and I want it to go in right now. And when I do that, if I keep it on market and I type in, I put the amount of percentage of my account I want to trade. I put my leverage where I want it to be on isolated. And as soon as I click the button long, bam, I'm in. There it is. I just entered this trade right there with 12,664 contracts. Okay. I probably would have waited normally to enter this. It is kind of bouncing on the crux here of this resistance and this upward trending support, but I just wanted to give you an example. So I'm in on market order. It's in. Now, if I'm on a limit order or a limit conditional order, I have to type in the parameters of when I want it to go long and what price it needs to be at and all that stuff.
Okay, you didn't put a stop loss then, or are you going to go back and do that?
Yeah, so that's another thing. Good. I'm glad you brought that up. When I'm getting ready to place my order over here and I put the size and all that stuff, and I have all those parameters set that I just talked about, I can also click here and type in the stop loss and take profit targets before I click the long button. But I generally don't do it first. I generally just go long and get in the trade. Then I come down here to the open position down here. And I come all the way over here to TPSL because that gives me the thing that I wanted to do first was get in the position. And then the very next thing I want to do as quickly as possible is put a stop loss. And in case it just drops out of the blue on me, I don't want to go negative, right? So too much. So I'm going to take my time over here. I'm going to look, where do I want my stop loss? I think I want my stop loss not too far underneath this entry, because if it doesn't hold here and it retests underneath that and starts to drop, I don't really want to be in a long position. So I'm going to put my stop loss just for the time being, just for this example, right under here, which is at 4407. So I'm going to come down here to TPSL, click the little pencil and type it in here, 4407, 26% away. Boom. Now my stop loss is in. Now I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, where do I want my take profit target? I think it's probably going to come up and retest this all-time high here, 49.57. But I'm going to front run it. So I'm going to put my take profit up here at 49.20 just for the time being. So I'm going to click edit, type that in here, 49.20. It's 134% gain. If it hits it, confirm. All right, so now I have my TP up here. I have my entry and my stop loss here. My liquidation's down here. I cannot possibly get liquidated because my stop loss is in the way of that. So I'm not overly worried. Now, I'm currently in profit. It is seemingly bouncing here. I'm not saying this was actually a signal, but if you want, you can, but just make sure. I wouldn't have normally given a signal for this right now. I want to make sure it bounces here first. But based on this upward trend, it's likely to, unless, but here's a big unless. The reason we did not get higher than this level here is concerning. We did hit a resistance here at 47, about 47.74. We hit an all-time high here. And then here we came up to approximately 47, this resistance, and pulled back. But we did that here too. Pulled back, came back up higher, pulled back. We did not come up higher here. So this is not a higher high, technically speaking. That would be somewhat of a head and shoulders at this point, which is bearish. I'm not going to consider that one yet, but if we do break to the downside, it would probably be looking like this. Let me just move this over. I would take a line from this top right there to maybe down to here. That was the support. And if we broke out to the downside here, that's where we could come down to. And it just so happens that that would be very similar, very close to this resistance right here. Resistance, 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 support. And that is, of course, possible, but we are in an upward trending support line right here, and we have held. And here we held on it and climbed higher. And we could be bouncing here. And if we do, then that could take us to a new high up here. And that would be probably right there, exactly where that would be. Too early to tell. It's a crystal ball question, but I am long. I'm up $13, $14 right now, but will it hold here? If it doesn't hold here, we got a problem because this was support and resistance, this line, and it's converging on upward trending support. There was a moment here where we dipped below it, held as resistance, came back above it, dipped below it, went above it, and held as support. You can see it clearly when I zoom in. Support, 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 breakthrough, 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 resistance, resistance, breakthrough, support, breakthrough, 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 resistance, and boom, support. This is just uncertainty is all it is. Whenever we're waffling on a line, a little bit above, a little bit below, doesn't mean it obviously held because it didn't. I am on the 1 hour time frame, so there were some candles underneath, but not lower lows. You see where we dropped below, and then every candle after that was a higher low, not lower. So it came back up, and then we had higher highs. So in a sense, it just held. Right now, we had a long wick to the downside. We hit this, broke through, but just wicked right back up, and we're kind of holding on top of this line right here, which, as we look here, it was resistance, support, support, resistance, 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 a lot of support and resistance going all the way back. And so it's kind of a heavy support and resistance level right here. And maybe it's just coming down to retest. We have downward trending. You could even say this is a possible another falling wedge or downward trending channel. Maybe. Depending on where you put your lines. But either way, it's all converging right here on the upward trending support, this horizontal support and resistance, and this downward trending support. So it's coming together right here at this point. That's a lot of support. Let's just see if it bounces and comes out. It's going into a new week right now, and I'm hopeful that it will. I think that we're due for, I mean, we are in the last couple months of the bull market, 3 months and 20 some days or so, in my opinion. A lot of people think the bull market could go into 2026, but generally speaking, if we look at the 12-month candlestick on TradingView, some of you have seen me talk about this many times. Some of you are new, but if we look at the 12-month chart, each one of these candlesticks is 12 months. We have a bull market top, bear market bottom. All you do is you count 4 candles from the bull market top. So bull market top, 1, 2, 3, 4, bull market top, 1, 2, 3, 4, bull market top, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the 4th candle now, and we have 3 months and 17 days left. And basically what that tells me, until something changes, the trend is your friend till the end. And the trend is that the 4th candle on the 12-month time frame, historically, ever since the inception of Bitcoin, has always been the top of the market in every bull market cycle. So we have bull market top, one year down, bear market, 1, 2, 3 years up, it's a bull market top. 1 year down, bear market, 1, 2, 3 years up, bull market top. 1 year down, 1, 2, 3. That we are in going on 3 years in this bull market since the bear market bottom. This is the final candle on the 12-month time frame. In order for it to maintain this structure, which has happened every time so far, is it possible that this time is different? I guess yes. Yes, it is. Of course, it is possible. But I don't bet on things being different. I bet on them continuing to do what they've always done until proven different. Until there's new evidence that's going to cause me to believe something different than what I currently believe, I will continue to believe what I currently believe. No matter what
Hey,
it is.
Nico,
Yes.
can I ask you a question? I think I might have missed a part of something. You were talking about mark price, list price, and index price, and what the difference was, and where we should be, what we should have clicked on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always on mark price, but Bill says the default is what? Last price?
Yeah, last price is the default for everything now. And it used to be that the take profits and the stop losses were the mark price, but they're not anymore. Everything is last price except for liquidations. Liquidations are based on the mark price so that you have less of a whale effect. We don't have whales coming in, swooping in and messing up just Phemex, because liquidations being based on the top 5 exchanges, whales on Phemex aren't going to affect you. Do you understand?
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Okay, right on.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, so with that being said, guys, all I know is that we got 3 months, 17 days left. What does that mean? That just means that in 3 months and 17 days, this candle will print, meaning it's done. It will not be going up and down anymore. The next candle will start, the 5th candle, which is this candle, which is this candle, which is this candle. Notice that they're all red, but they don't start out red. Here's the thing. This candle was the bull market top back in 2013. It went all the way up to here, and then it came down to here before printing, and this candle started. This candle went, let me just move this out of the way. This candle went up to here before dropping down to here. This candle opened up and went down even further. So bear market, bull market, bear market, bull market, bear market, bull market. But even this candle, which is the candle after the first bear market candle, can still be down here at the low end before it finally climbs out. So this candle here could go all the way up to 180 in the next 3 months and 17 days and come all the way back down to 125, let's just say. And then the next candle starts. Well, when this next candle starts, whatever the top of this one was, historically has been the top. So if it's 125 at the time that this candle starts, but it went up to 145, then 145 was the top. Just like here. If this candle starts right here at 13,900, but this candle went all the way up to 19,800, that was the top. And this was just where it closed out. And the next candle started. So if you would have shorted here, that would have been a great run down on the bear market, but you would have missed all of this if you didn't short at the top, because you don't really know until we get really close to those last few days of that 3 months and 17 days. I mean, what's the likelihood of it really shooting up fast in the last week? So wherever it is coming into the end of this year, that's whatever the highest point was at that time will probably be the top. We'll worry about that then, but that's kind of how I'm basing whether I'm going to short the market or not.
Hey, Nico, can
Yeah.
you take a look at Doge, please?
Doge doing something very similar to Ethereum right now, bouncing. So we have this support here and resistance going all the way back to 2000 July. Resistance, 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 support. Bring it forward, resistance. Bring it forward. Resistance, support, support. We're bouncing on that right now. And we did have a nice downward trending channel. We're still downward trending because it hasn't broken out of that yet, but it does look like it has bounced on this support. So what I would do is I would wait for the breakout, either here and retest, go long, or if it breaks down below and stays underneath this support, then you would go short here. Or you don't go short, you just wait for the next bounce. Where's it going to be? We do have somewhat of upward trending channel. Does look like upward trending support, depending on where you draw this line. Let me just see. We do have what appears to be support, support, support. We're far away from it, but this could be a thing. If we bring this all the way out. Looks like I had a big head and shoulders drawn on this too at one point. But as you can see, it is upward trending. It is technically a head and shoulders, and we are in an apex and we are in a downward trending wedge right here, hitting this support. We also have a big W formation. That's bullish. We are holding support here and making higher highs. We broke out of this wedge here to the upside, but we did not make a higher high, and we're coming back down to retest here. If I zoom in. That's why That's why you got to look at these different time frames, guys, so you can really see the bigger picture. So we have a couple W's. We have a big W here. We have another little one here. Generally, W's do break to the upside. It's also on support, which was good. So we just take a line from the top of the W to the bottom. Take it to the breakout. That would bring us, I mean, we did break out, but we only came up to here and hit resistance and then came all the way back down to retest. So if we bounce here and hold and we break out of that most recent high here, we could certainly see. I mean, it is upward trending. We have a high, higher high, higher high, low, higher low, higher low, and it is heading, hopefully bouncing here and heading up to higher high. That could be over here somewhere. You can just do this. I would say that with altcoin season, Bitcoin losing a little dominance, that, you know, we are in prime time for a big pump to the upside with all of these coins, including Bitcoin, but just less with Bitcoin. I don't know why. I don't know why Bitcoin's having such a hard time with resistance, but as you can see, we had big pumps with Ethereum and XRP and some other ones. I mean, this is the daily. This was, you know, a year ago right here, this big pump. But we possibly are very much on our way to another one. If we don't make a higher high and this comes back down here, guys, though, on Dogecoin, you know, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but no offense to any Debbies, that would be bearish. Whoops. If we come back down and break this upward trending support, then we're looking at a drop all the way down to this level here. That's why I like to do technical analysis in both directions. If this, then that. That's usually my way of explaining things, guys. If this happens, then this will happen. If this happens, then this will happen. And is it always that way? No, I mean, this could happen where it breaks below this and then somehow miraculously gets back above it. Maybe just retest this and bounces. But generally speaking, you know, I had a pretty clear-cut head and shoulders on the daily. Upward trending support. If we broke that, then that means it's losing its momentum to the upside. And we could certainly, but right now it's higher highs and it is trending up. So there's no reason to suggest that yet. It would have to break below this support for that to happen. And right now it's way up here. It did drop down to retest this level, which is a clear, a clear previous resistance level going all the way back. I mean, look at this. Support, support, resistance, 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 support. What else? BNB was doing some crazy stuff. I mean, it's climbing. BNB. But is it just hitting the top?
Hey, do you think that the reason that you were stating that Bitcoin is not doing what it should be doing as far as spiking, that maybe because the market is getting flooded with all these altcoins, is taking the attention off of Bitcoin, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, some big money people do take Bitcoin off the table and move it into altcoins during altcoin season. There's been a big, you know, this is why when you see Michael Saylor buying $200 million worth of Bitcoin, why does the price not go up very high? Why does it not pump the market huge? And it may a little bit in the short term pump it up, from 112 to 114, but then it just comes right back down to 112. So what's going on? How can this guy buy $200 million of Bitcoin every month and the price just doesn't get above 112? And the answer is because there's an equal amount of selling happening. That's the only way to really describe it. If you have a glass of water with a hole in the bottom of it and you keep pouring water in the top, it doesn't really matter. It will never get full because the hole in the bottom is draining the exact amount of water that's being poured in the top. So as long as there's Bitcoin being sold at the same rate that there's Bitcoin being bought, the price will not go anywhere. And why would anybody sell? Some of you might ask. Well, some of you may not know this, but there were 10 wallets that were dormant for 10 years. I mean, tell me if this isn't symbolic or says something. 10 wallets dormant for 10 years exactly, with $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in each one. Now, they didn't start out with $1 billion of Bitcoin. They bought, I don't know what it was. It was some ridiculously low amount, like $7,000 worth of Bitcoin back in 2014. And that turned into $1 billion in 10 years. But they were dormant, meaning no activity, no transfers in and out until just recently, until just like a month ago. And I announced this. I talked about it in the group. I posted in the Signal channel as well with a chart. But 10 wallets, not only did they come back alive, in other words, they're not dormant anymore, but they were transferring large amounts, $100 million of the Bitcoin to different wallets out of those 10 dormant wallets. They were transferring huge amounts of Bitcoin into other exchanges for the sole purposes of being sold, because why else would you? Why else would you? Are you going to buy more Bitcoin at 120,000 after you bought it at, $35 or $80 or whatever it was back in 2014? No, this is not time to buy. When you turn 7,000 into $1 billion, this is time to sell for those people. Or for some reason, right? They just all decided. Now, why would they all of a sudden come out of nowhere? I mean, first of all, just imagine how either in the know you must be, how smart you must be in order to hold that long without touching. I mean, when your Bitcoin was worth 100 million, how come you didn't take any? When your Bitcoin was worth 300 million, how come you didn't take any? When your Bitcoin was worth 700 million, how come you didn't take any? But each of them got to exactly $1 billion, and all of a sudden they start moving crypto around. So something strange, right? That's kind of like seemingly insider stuff right there. They knew to hold for a certain period of time. And, but why now all of a sudden they're not going to continue to hold? That's telling, but I don't know what it's telling, but it's telling something. And so does that mean we should all bail out of Bitcoin? No. But if I had $1 billion worth of it, I might not care anymore. I would just borrow against it or, hold some in trust. And, at that point, there comes a time when it's a little like some people are like, well, if XRP is going to go to $1,000 per coin, then XLM and HBAR and all these other ones, Stellar Lumens, they're all going to go up. So should I diversify and, have a little bit in all of them? Sure. Why not? But if you have $20,000 worth of, if you have 20,000 XRP and XRP does go to 1,000, does it really matter what those other ones do at that point? Is it just more for you to worry about? Like if your one investment's going to make you $30 million, do you really care if HBAR goes up and makes you another $1 million? Why not just have it all in XRP? I guess you could say to diversify, but HBAR is probably not going to outperform XRP, and XLM probably not going to outperform. XRP is going to be the one first, and all of those other ones might have their place, and it might be a good idea to have be diversified in all of them. I am, but not to the same level, and I'm not really putting more money into those other ones at this point. It's going to happen or it's not going to happen. XRP is going to shoot to 25, 50, $100 rather quickly, maybe 250. And then maybe, I don't know, if all the planets align, which they are in the process of being aligned, then you could see a $250 to $1,000 XRP. And then maybe even beyond that, in the next couple of years, $10,000, $25,000 XRP. I don't know how much XRP you guys have, but if XRP got, a lot of people are saying that buying XRP right now at under $3 is equivalent to buying Bitcoin at $13.
When you say borrow from Bitcoin and stuff, do you meaning like you're staking your Bitcoin?
You're staking, yes, but not on a staking platform, but you're staking it with a custodian, like a bank, for instance, Coinbase or Chase Bank or Wells Fargo or Bank of America. They're in the process of setting up structures to lend against Bitcoin, just like they do against stock portfolios, just like they do against real estate. It's an asset class that is lendable at this point, and it has been. Coinbase was lending up to 50% against Bitcoin back in 2021. Now they paused that for a while, but I think they will do it again. They're just going to have, it's just going to be a little tighter. I think they were allowing up to 60% back then. But I don't think they're going to do that again. They might go to 40, 30, 40%. I don't think they'll ever over leverage themselves. But soon banks will be custodians, and they're going to want you to open up crypto accounts at the bank, just like you do at PayPal or Coinbase or crypto.com. You're going to have your checking account, your savings account, your digital currency account, which is, what we're heading into, right? And of course, you're going to have your wallets for everything else. And then if you want to borrow against your portfolio, your crypto portfolio, you sit with your banker and you move your Bitcoin into a custodial account. They will hold it. So you got $1 million worth of Bitcoin, you transfer 50% of that, let's just say hypothetically 500,000 into their custodial account, and they give you a loan for $500,000 that they transfer into your savings account. They're holding your Bitcoin as collateral. Bitcoin continues to go up in value over time, probably in excess of your interest rate for the loan. So if Bitcoin continues, let's just say hypothetically, Bitcoin has been going up. It's not hypothetical. Bitcoin has been going up at an average rate of 100% per year over the last decade, but it's not going to maintain 100% per year every year. So let's say it goes down to 80, then 70, then 60. Let's say it stables off at around 40 or 50% per year, but you're borrowing against it at 8% per year. So you're paying 8% on the loan on the 500 grand against an asset that's going up in value at 40% per year. You have an arbitrage of 32%. So you're able to pay the loan off with the increased value of the asset that's being held as collateral. Free money at that point, without paying taxes on it, without selling it. So you continue to hold the asset over time, and let's say Bitcoin continues to go up 40% per year for the next 10 years. And now your $1 million of Bitcoin is now worth, I don't know, 4 million, 5 million, $10 million. I don't know. And you want to pay that $500,000 loan off, you can, right? You can just pay it back with the extra Bitcoin that you have. Or you can borrow another 2 million and continue to do that tax-free. Live off the loan proceeds, fund your lifestyle, do whatever you want, invest in other things, and continue to pay the loan off with the increased value of the asset held as collateral. That's how rich people do it. That's how they've been doing it forever, not with crypto, but with real estate and stock portfolios. They borrow, they fund their lifestyle. Jeff Bezos bought a $200 million yacht with borrowed money against his stock portfolio. He's not going to sell $200 million worth of stock and get hit with a $80 million capital gains tax. So he just borrowed against it. And he continues to pay the loan off with the increased value of the stock portfolio as it goes up in value and as he continues to make more money with his company. So you just got to think that you don't have to think that way. You can do whatever you want. But I like to liken it to things that people can probably relate to. It's like if you were to win the lottery, 50 million, let's say you won $50 million in the lottery, or even something crazier, like 500 million. The Powerball was like a 1.4 billion last week. Let's say you won $500 million. You were the lucky winner. What most people would do is they would be up there smiling, holding their big check and getting their picture taken. And then within days or weeks, thousands of people come out of the woodwork begging you for money, including all your family members. And if you don't give it, then you're an asshole. And then hundreds of people have been knocking on your door, demanding, help. Right. So, and then what? And then, but by then you've already went and bought a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce, and you've already paid cash for like your $4 million mansion. And you probably bought all your in-laws a mansion, your mother, your father, everybody. Right. And you're on a spending spree, and it doesn't matter because you got $500 million. But remember, after taxes, you only got like 180 million left or 200 million. You already spent 20 million in the first week of winning. Watch what happens after 6 months, a year, 2 years. You're back to broke. Just like a lot of these really, superstar sports celebrities who get these huge contracts and they're broke relatively quickly because no one ever taught them how to manage money. They don't know what to do with that big of a windfall. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to, why would I get a mortgage? I can pay cash for this house. Why would I finance a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce? I could pay cash for this car. Yes, you could. And you could own all that stuff free and clear. You can own all of those depreciating assets free and clear if you want. But what happens is that, and the smart thing would be to do, first of all, before you win the lottery, or when you win the lottery, is don't tell anybody for months. Get your structure set up, get your trust set up, get your, claim the prize in an irrevocable trust, not in your own personal name, so no one knows who won. Then you want to buy the $10 million house? No problem. Get a mortgage from the bank. Get a loan, normal loan, mortgage loan, 30-year mortgage, 45-year mortgage, doesn't matter. You want all the cars? Get 10 of them. Doesn't matter. Just get leases on all of them. Finance all of them. You might say, why? It's real simple. Because the interest on your 50 million sitting in the bank or your 200 million after taxes, the interest on that alone is going to be between 15 and $20 million a year, every year for the rest of your life. You can pay all of your bills, all of your expenses from just that alone without spending one dime of the $200 million that you want. And then when you want a new car, you just trade it in. You want a new house, you sell the first one, refinance, get another mortgage on the second. Doesn't matter what your monthly expenses are because you got 1 to 2 million a month coming in every month for the rest of your life to pay all your bills. And that's without any extravagant investing strategies. That's just leaving your money in a nice hedge fund that pays a nice dividend. Even if it's 5% a year, 6% a year, that's still, do the math, guys. It'd still be 10 million a year for the rest of your life. So you could certainly support yourself in everything you want with that amount of money without selling or without spending any of your winnings. Anyway,
and it's best to have that freed up capital, like you say, and not just spend the bulk of your capital on depreciating assets.
That's right.
You have more money to reinvest and invest in different strategies because of that freed up capital.
That's correct. And houses, a lot of people are like, yeah, but the house is an investment. Not really. No. I mean, your house is if you're renting the house out, that's an asset. But if you're living in it and paying all the bills to live in it, then it's a liability. It's costing you money. But if your cash flow from your money is paying the bills for you, then it's free. At this point, you're not having to work and trade your time for the money to pay those depreciating assets. If you pay cash for a $2 million house, guys, then yes, it might be worth $4 million in 10 years. It might double in value in 10 years, but the purchasing power of the US dollar also went down 10% per year, which is 100%. So just because your house is paid off and you could sell it in 10 years for $2 million more than you paid for it, doesn't really mean you made any money. You tied up that $2 million for 10 years. You could have taken that $2 million and invested in other things that made you 10% per year or per month even, but you just sat there in equity in your house. So really, and then when you go to sell it for $4 million, yeah, you have twice as much money that you paid for that house, but 10 years also went by, and now everything costs twice as much. I just don't think, and trust me, I didn't always know this or think this way, but most people don't at all. They just don't look at it that way. But money is a tool. So you look at the cash or any kind of money as just a tool, and look at finance, and you got to understand the arbitrage, and you got to understand the value of the money and how long it takes you to get it if you were to work for it or trade your time for it, as opposed to putting the money to work for you. Every dollar bill is like a little soldier. When you deploy the soldiers out to work for you, instead of spend it on stupid stuff, and you invest it in things that actually go up in value, now you're basically hiring little employees to go out there and make money for you. Over time, you have a lot of employees, and they're out there working for you, and you can no longer need to work, and your money is making money for you. But this is where it takes discipline, and most people just they're not willing to do that. It takes too long. They'd rather enjoy the money right now, which, don't get me wrong, we all want to do that. We all want to enjoy it. You got to sacrifice a little bit in the short term to get what you want in the long term. Now, if you're old already and you came into a lot of money, then by all means, go spend it. Go have fun. I don't think it matters. There is a point when it doesn't matter, I'm sure. So here's BNB. It is in an somewhat of an upward trending channel from previous support, and it is hitting the top right now. So is that a time to go long? No. What we'd want to do is wait for a breakout above that and hold the support. But what will probably happen is, now that it's climbed all the way from this bottom up to the top, it falls back down to the bottom, because that's what it's been doing. Does that mean it will always continue to do that? No, but that's just what it's done so far every time. Channel down, channel up, channel down, channel up.
You're not
Be a channel down. Go ahead. Anybody got a?
you're not sharing your screen.
Yeah, he
Okay.
is. Yeah, you got to look in the upper left. Look for where it says Nico Mercuris' screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So this is, guys, just seeing this, it's once you get the hang of this, I know that some of you who are brand new still might think this is all a little confusing, but there comes a time when it's like, you just see this, even with nothing on the board, I can see that channel. I could see this upward trending channel here, and here's this lower wick, and I can see this bottom trending support here without even the lines. But when I draw the lines, it becomes crystal clear. And then you can even see the channel from the top to the bottom, the channel from the bottom to the top, and the top to the bottom, and the top bottom to the top. And so it becomes easy. It becomes second nature. You just see it. It's kind of like, I always give the driving analogy. When you first learn how to drive, with me, it was like back in the very beginning of the 80s. I was in a VW Bug 6-speed manual transmission. Thing was a pain in the ass to get into gear. I was nervous.
What, they had 6-speed back then?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, six shift or 5, maybe it was a 5. But yeah, long pole going all the way down to the floorboard. And it was difficult. I was nervous. They were telling me to look both ways, go ahead and pull out, let out the clutch. I let the clutch out. The car stalled. People were honking at me. I was like, oh my God, this is so hard. It's difficult. And I was getting nervous. But, 3 months later, I'm doing 60, steering with my knee, eating a cheeseburger in one hand and drinking my soda pop in another. Not even thinking about it. And that's what happens. You just get good at things and you don't think about it anymore. But in the beginning, yeah, it can seem a little daunting.
Quick question. How did you
Yes.
cut those lines on and off of your chart?
How did I do that?
Yes.
Over here on the far left, in the tools section here, where all these tools are, down close to the bottom, right above the garbage can, there is this one right here, which is hide all drawings.
Great. Thank you.
And you just click it on and off. And below, I mean, you could also hide all indicators, hide all. And if you accidentally, if you right click, by the way, guys, if you want to get rid of the drawings and start over, you just right click on the screen and remove drawings. If I do that, they're removed. Now they're gone. But if I accidentally did that and made a mistake, I just hit Control Z on my keyboard and they all come back.
When you're trading in mock, how many coins can you trade? Because I'm confused.
There's only there's 5 coins in mock. You can practice on any chart, but you can only trade the 5 in mock. Now, TradingView has simulated trading. You can trade any asset.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Marlon says a lot of the whales traded BTC into ETH. They say because of the upside and staking, but I also saw that stablecoin transactions will pay gas fees in ETH because most or all stablecoins are built on the ETH blockchain. Yep, that's why ETH is still a viable investment. ETH will, we were saying that a couple of weeks ago that ETH will get a lot higher. If Bitcoin gets to even 160, 170, Ethereum should be at $10,000 to $20,000 per coin. And I think, and there's a reason why, it's not because of how great Ethereum itself is, but the blockchain is what most performing utilitarian tokens run on, as the Ethereum mainnet. Liga, I'm sorry, I can never pronounce your name. You are paying interest on the loan, so that cancels the interest from the bank. I'm not sure I understand what you were referring to when I was talking.
Borrowing your own money.
Yeah, well, you're borrowing against an asset class that's going up historically 40, 50, 60. Oh, well, so far, I mean, over the last decade, 100% per year, Bitcoin.
And the loan payments.
Oh, if you were talking about winning the lottery, yeah, you're borrowing, but the interest from the bank, I might have misread what you said.
Hey, Nico.
You are paying interest on the loans, Liga, and that may cancel out the interest from the bank, but you're also paying it with money that's free. Go ahead.
With the interest rate news coming this week, how do you factor that in on your setups for the week?
Say that a little louder, Tommy.
The Fed's supposed to come out Wednesday, and I'm pretty sure they're going to lower the rate. How does that factor into the setups for our trading this week?
We might see a nice pump and dump. We might see a nice fake out move up or down before it stables off. Usually what happens is as soon as the announcement happens, it'll look like this, boom, boom, like something really big like that. And then it just comes right back down into the same channel that it was already in.
Okay.
So I tend to stay out of the market unless I'm already in a trade. I just be careful. But usually there's some big movement. I would say that lowering of interest rates would be good. Overall, it sounds like it would be, right? But it does seem to cause a negative effect. Job markets.
Initially it does, but then overall it should be good. It should pump them a little bit, I would think. But.
Yeah. Donnie, I don't know if that answers your question, but I tend to just wait because what happens is the market moves crazy because of anticipation of what's going to happen, not necessarily what's happening, or not necessarily what he's saying, but in anticipation, there's usually some huge pump or dump, and it looks what we call whipsaw, meaning it's very fast one way or the other, or both, and generally speaking, ends up coming right back into the same channel that it was in after it's over. So it'll look like something like this, where it goes down really fast or up really fast like this, and then comes right back down into the same channel. That's tomorrow. I thought that was today. It's tomorrow.
17th should be Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Well, I mean, if you're looking at BNB, this is BNB, by the way, guys. This is a nice trade setup right here. We're winding into an apex up here at the top. We have upward trending resistance, and we have bottom trending, upward trending support. And we're going to wind into this little apex here. It's either going to break to the downside or break to the upside. I'll make this line blue just to match the bottom. But yeah, every time it hit so far, it came back down to the bottom. Hit, came back down to the bottom. Hit. Is it going to come back down the bottom, or are we going to finally break it? So this is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is, I'm going to go down to a lower time frame. Let's go to the hourly, see what's going on. We did have a nice little curve around after this little double top here. And it's still trying to come down. It's still trending down a little bit. I mean, it does look like it found a little support right here, so it might go sideways. You see these long wicks, and none of them had a candle below that level. So it could bounce here. This is previous resistance and support, and if I go back far enough, I'm sure that it is support and resistance there. Resistance, support, support. Resistance, support, support. Support. Upward trending support. And we could be closer to that than I think that might be more accurate. We might have just hit it. If I put this here, where we actually bounced on it, bounced on it, bounced on it, went through, hit resistance, came back above it, we could have just hit it right here if that makes more sense maybe. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff. And if I go back and look at the 1 hour on trading view, let's go to the daily. We did flip the EMA ribbon, and then we're holding support on the 50-day moving average right there. Right at this support line, right there. This is a big wick to the upside, but so far it's bouncing here. So whether it holds or not, I mean, it is positive, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles above on the daily above the EMA ribbon, and 4 above the 50-day moving average. And on the weekly, we do have a stochastic RSI cross right here. Blue line crossing orange line, and already above the dotted line into this zone. Orange line starting to come back up itself. I mean, if we just look at history, guys, every single time that happens. Right here. Blue line cross the orange line to the upside, gets into the grayed out area. I mean, just look at the dotted line going straight up. Right here. It's just big pump to the upside after that. This only happens twice a year. So this would be the second time this year. And look what happened last time before that one. Right here, blue line cross the orange line to the upside. Big pump to the upside. Look what happened before that one. Blue line cross the orange line to the upside. Big pump to the upside. Before that one, blue line cross the orange line to the upside. Big pump to the upside. So you get the point every time that happens. We generally have a big pump to the upside twice a year. And we did just break. So there's a couple other things. We also broke out of a falling wedge, which is bullish. We also flipped the bearish EMA ribbon. It was bearish. We flipped it to bullish on the daily. As you can see here. This was the ribbon. We were above it. And then right here, we flipped bearish. We came underneath it and held as resistance and then dropped all the way down to 107 and then broke out of the downward trending falling wedge to the upside, held a support, broke through the ribbon, broke through the 50 EMA and holding support. All bullish. Everything's leading to bullish. So the only thing that's bearish is that we hit resistance at this upward trending support. But we did break through it here temporarily and break through it here temporarily. So we certainly could do it again. And
could that dip have been the fake move week beginning, that dip last night, and we could be on our way up again?
Yes. Yep, that could have just been coming back to retest after breaking through the ribbon and the EMA. That could have just been a retest. Not only that, but it's a retest of part of that M pattern up here. See this big wick right here? Bam. We did have some support resistance here. We had support here and resistance here and support here before breaking down. And we hit it here as resistance and we're holding the support here. So that is a major support resistance level. So I would say, yeah, I would say feeling a little bullish. Now let's do something else. I mean, this is not necessarily good, guy. We do have a double top here against major resistance. So, I mean, but all the other indicators are saying bullish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the EMA down here and I'm going to take a look at market cipher B. We got a green dot on the hourly. That's bullish. We got we have a red dot on the daily. That's bearish. But when that dot happened, that was all the way up here, right? Let's see, where was it? It was basically at the very top of this wick. So yeah, if you would have shorted that, that would have been a nice little dump. But we could have one of these where, I mean, this is not necessarily good to have a red dot up here on the daily. Generally speaking, whenever you do, let's go look at, there's a red dot right there behind that red line. It's hard to see, but you can see what happened after that. We did drop quite a bit. Here's a red dot at the top of this wave right here, which is way up here. You can see what happened after that. We did drop quite a bit. And if I go back and look at all these red dots at the top of these waves here, it's not good. Generally speaking, what happens after that. So there is some conflicting data. We have some positive bullish indicators, stochastic RSI on the weekly. We have, and by the way, on the market cipher, this red line is the stochastic RSI. It's red here on the daily. If I go to the weekly, we do have a green dot on the weekly. We have money flow going in and a green dot on the weekly. So what that's basically telling me, guys, is that the bigger picture is bullish and we could see a big pump to the upside, but in the short term, on the lower time frames, in the short term, we could see some further dumping. If we go down to the 1 hour, we got a green dot. That's a lower time frame. Let me get rid of this big circle. Do have a green dot on the 1 hour. If we go to the 10-minute, now here's something very bullish. Green dot back here. You see lower price. We got lower, 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 lower. higher, 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 higher. So we got bullish divergence, which is bullish. We're about to break up to the upside here. Look at the last time we see this, where we have higher, 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 higher. Big pump to the upside. Look at this one here. Higher, 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 higher. Higher lows. Boom, big pump to the upside. Higher, higher, higher. Red money flow coming back around. See the red, how it's curving back around. The red, how it's curving back around. That's what's happening here. These are getting higher. I have a feeling we might see a big pump to the upside. So with all that being said, everything I just talked about, I'm going to go back to my Bitcoin chart and I am going to enter a long position with a smaller amount than normal just to get in. I'm at 19x leverage, 11,000 contracts. I'm just going to go long for now. I will copy and paste these open positions in the signal channel so you can see exactly what my entry is, you don't have to use the same leverage as me or the same size position or anything. You can use everything different, doesn't matter, but it'll at least show you what my entry is and what my margin is, which is low. I only have $631 on that trade that I just did. But I am going to put a relatively tight stop loss because if we break below this upward trend line, I'm going to say 114,200 on Bitcoin. 9% right here. We would have to break below this support line at the 114.6 and below this upward trending support. And if that happens, I don't want to be in the long anyway. So that's the risk we take with our stop loss getting hit. If that stop loss gets hit there, I will lose approximately $63. Well, $60, $62 or so. 9% of my $631.
What was your stop again?
Stop loss is at 114,200. Expecting a bounce right here at this upward trending support. And with all the other indicators that I just went over, there's a lot of bullish things happening. This is bearish, this double top here. It's bearish that we hit the top of the upward trending resistance line going all the way back to 2021. It's not bearish. I mean, we're just at the top. We're just near the top of a market. That's all, guys. And there's only one way to break through that, and that's to break through it. But a lot of times we can't get through the top and we have to fall back down. So that's a possibility. But I'm gonna bet that in this last few months of this bull market, we do have another run up. And in order for that to happen, we do need to break through these levels. And I'd rather be in a good position for that. And not only that, but if I'm wrong here, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to lose much. That's the risk we're taking in trading. We are betting on a certain direction, but if we're wrong, we're risking a little. We are taking a risk, yes. There is no such thing as no risk, but we're risking a small amount to make a lot of money.
Hey, Nico.
Yes.
Is your market cipher still open?
Yes.
I was just one of those dates where you saw the uptick. Are those?
Say that again, Marlon.
Oh, okay. Though that's on the 10-minute. I was just wondering the dates on those upticks you saw.
Oh yeah. This is on the lower time frame. This let me go to a higher time frame and see what we're seeing. We might have some. I mean, we did have it back here. Where I don't see it right now, but back here we see what happens when we have higher lows from down here. We do get a big, see right here, we flipped the EMA and got back above it and went pretty high. We pumped from 108,000 all the way up to 113 on that one. Right here, it looks pretty even, but it is still converging because we have some downward from here to here. It's downward trending, but from here it's not. It's kind of upward trending. It's just very light.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I was looking to see if it was like on those dates. Remember when we pumped in November and I think it was another one in January.
Yeah. We also, I mean, depending on how you look this could look like a falling wedge as well, or some kind of bull flag type of situation, but really it's a double top, and double tops are usually bearish, but there's too many other positive things happening at the moment.
Okay, thanks.
If we go to a higher time frame on market cipher, let's go to the weekly. We do have a green dot on the weekly as well. 2 weekly. Money flow is kind of curving back up. Money flow is curving back up after this red dot, curving up. And down here it's curving up. It's harder to tell on these higher time frames when you get up here to the weekly. We do have a red dot on the monthly, but that's only because we went all the way up to, yeah, I don't even know why that red dot just happened right there on the monthly. That's not good though. But we will know soon. We don't have enough time on this call to see what happens on that candle, but I will tell you this. Go back to this chart. If we fall below this current support that it's sitting on at 114.6, and we get below this upward trending support going all the way back to 15,000, or well, this one doesn't go back to 15. This is only going back to 108 right here. That's not the overall upward trending. Let me go back and draw that one too. Let's bring it back from one. We still have this upward trending support going pretty far back. We're far away from that one. We do have another potential one from it definitely looks different on Bitcoin margin. Let me go over to Bitcoin USDT. Seems to be much closer and tighter here. We're still a ways away from it. Bouncing on a zone here. Well, I am long, and I'll screen share this and put it in the I might add another position here too. Hold on a second. That's ETH XRP. Let me go look at. I mean, that's ETH and Ethereum. Let me go look at XRP. I'm gonna redraw this. This is getting a little too convoluted here. I mean, this is a nice big bull flag as far as I'm concerned. Probably should wait for a breakout. Yeah, still brings you up to the $4.30 range. Unless this is a giant rising wedge. Either way, we got some room to the upside first before we break to the downside. So on XRP, I mean, I was obviously long over the last couple of weeks from here, from the support here up, but we're hitting this resistance. I mean, we need to break through that. And it could just be that we are coming down to a center line, which tends to happen sometimes. You can see the center resistance. We had support, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, resistance. There is a center line. Also, we break through here. We have a little bit of support there. And that center line is usually the halfway between the top and the bottoms. And if we come down and bounce on that, somewhere right here in the $2.80, $2.90 range, that could be the point where we finally break out of. Because usually before breakout, it usually hits the center line before breaking out. Pop. Bottom. Hard to tell here. We did have somewhat of a center. Resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, support, 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 support. Hit the top, came down, hit the center line, and then broke out. I'm not gonna get into XRP right now unless it bounces on the center line and starts to head back up. Otherwise, otherwise we could just wind into this apex here where it just continues to get tighter and tighter and tighter until it finally breaks out. Overall, I'm bullish on XRP though, and I'm holding a lot of it. I'm doing the more safer thing with XRP. I'm just waiting for it to go. But you could do that with a trade with leverage as well, but you just have to be able to stand the ups and downs while it's waiting to do that. All right, guys, we got 20 minutes at the top of the hour. I do got a call coming up in 5 minutes at 1:45. Any last questions? Please say what time frame you're on when you switch. Thanks. Right now, I was on the daily that I was just looking at on XRP. I don't know which one you're talking about, Sunnyville.
Oh, every time.
Which one?
Every time you switch time frames, I can't keep up because I'm on my phone, and so I have to
okay.
zoom in to the corner to see what time frame you're talking switch to. But
Yeah.
if you could do that once in a while, that'd be awesome, bud.
Yeah, no problem. Feel free to just jump out anytime and ask me what time frame I'm on too, so I know. So because sometimes I forget. Thank you, Val. Appreciate you. Marlon, you didn't take a position on BNB, correct? No, I did not, but I am open to doing it if, let me look at it again. If we, oh yeah, what I'm here, because we just hit the top here, I'm waiting for a breakout either to the downside or the upside here. That's another one to look at, guys. BNB is $918. This is all-time high for BNB. I mean, I remember trading BNB way back here, a couple $100, not that long ago. I mean, that's a 3x to the upside with 10x leverage. Shit. Would have been a nice trade back then. Wasn't paying attention to BNB too much. We used BNB as a as an intermediate token when we're trading on Pancake Swap and when we were getting into ICOs, because most of those platforms were on the Binance Smart Chain network. And so we had to use BNB. So BNB is coming very handy over the years, but I can't believe how valuable it is right now for one BNB. Imagine when XRP gets to $918. It'll happen.
About Nico?
Yes, sir.
Any update on the Jake Claver situation?
I mean, I have messages out to his team. They told me they'd get back. I was gonna, just so you guys know, I was gonna invite Jay Claver to get on a call, pitching him. You know, he's a busy guy, might have a lot of money, might not have the time for us, may not think it's worth his time. He might just want me to pay him to consult, but he's not cheap to consult with, and I don't necessarily need to consult with him. I already know how to set up trust. What he does is set up, you know, trust and holding companies in order to invest in crypto, and then what to do with, you know, and to do that in advance of the big market spike. Because if you have 1,000, let's say you have 10,000 XRP right now at $3 a pop, so you got 30 grand with XRP, and XRP does go to $500 or $1,000, you become, you know, you're now worth $30 million very quickly. You need to, so is it better to have these structures set up in advance of that happening? Or can you do it after? And the answer is yes, you can do it after. It is better to do it in advance. It is better to have all that set up already. And that's what they help with. But they want, you know, $500 just to consult with one of his team members, $5,000 to talk to him directly. And I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that at this point, but I was trying to give him an incentive to come and speak to us and say, listen, I got hundreds of people in this group. Might be worth your time to get on with us, because some of them, many of them might become customers at a much higher price for you if you're willing to speak to my team for free. And so that's usually what, like if someone came to me and asked me to do that, if they just wanted me to get on the phone with one person, I might not have the time to do it. But if they want to talk me to a whole crowd of people, I might be willing to do it. I was just on a podcast the other day, Trading Nuts out of New Zealand. The guy has 1.5 million downloads per month. I did that for free, of course. But if someone's got a podcast that they're just starting in Kansas and they only have one viewer and one subscriber because no one knows who they are, then I could be nice and get on their podcast for them, but is that going to really move the needle for either of us?
He's picking on people in Kansas. Come on now.
I'm sorry, Brian, you talking to me?
Yeah, I was picking on Kansas with you.
I didn't hear you, buddy. Can you speak a little louder?
It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Your microphone's low or something like that. I can't hardly hear you. Norman, hopefully I'll have at least 5x my XRP by the time it gets to 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all say that in hindsight, right? But I mean, we all say that and not in hindsight, before it happens, but very few actually do it, because a lot of people look back and say, shit, I knew I should have done it. I've just been stacking them since it was 15,000. I don't know why. For some reason, I always thought that they were going to do something big, but it wasn't until 49 cents, not 15,000, 15 cents. When it was 49 cents and we had the big breakout in this group, we went long and it pumped up to like 89 cents. We were all very excited. That's when I had the majority of my current holding. And it just, you know, it's obviously 6x since then. That was only about a year ago. But now with all the further evidence of XRP becoming a big thing, a big player in the entire financial structure of the world, there is a good chance, and there's a lot of people saying what would have to happen in order for it to get to triple and even quadruple digits, and it's really not that much that has to happen that isn't already set to happen. It's just a matter of when, I think. Kind of like Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was $1,500 for one Bitcoin, I was telling all my friends, you got to buy it. And then it went to 5,000, like, oh, it's too late now. I should have bought it when you said at 1,500. So then it was 5,000 and they didn't want to buy it because they thought it was too late. And then it went to 10,000. I'm like, did you buy any at 5,000? No, I thought it was too late. Now it's definitely too late. Oh, so now it's too late at 10,000? Dude, it's going to 100,000. No, it ain't. How do you know? And there was so much resistance, so many people saying, yeah, but they just couldn't see it. They just couldn't fathom it. And guess what? All of those people that were scared to buy at 5,000, scared to buy at 10,000 are buying at 100,000 because now they finally understand and they finally believe that it might go to 1 million. So you're willing to get a 10x, but you weren't willing to get a 100x or a 1,000x. But I think XRP is right around. Just imagine Bitcoin at $13, right under $20. I think that's what we're looking at with XRP right now. I won't even care if it takes 5 years to get to $1,000, but I don't think it will, to be honest with you.
So what about the money that XRP holds in their, like, I guess their escrow or something like that?
5,000 XRP are being burned every day. There's no more XRP that's going to be minted. The amount that's already being held, yeah, there will be an escrow. There'll be a certain amount that goes to banks, a certain amount of being held by the biggest wallets. I think 20 of the biggest, 20, not 200, not 2,000, 2 million, but 20 people own like the top, 80% of all XRP, 20 wallets. The rest is just spread out between us. So even if there's a couple $1 billion in profit for people like you and us to split, I don't think the banks and the major institutions care. I don't think that's one they're just going to have to chalk up as, okay, well, some people are just going to get rich. Oh, well, we got to do this thing. This is probably the first time in history that we could front run the financial institutions, meaning be set up and prepared for what they're about to do before they do it. It's one of those few opportunities that probably will ever exist in your lifetime to front run the Fed. I hope I'm right. I mean, I might not be, but I hope I am because I got a lot of it.
So do you leverage that when you buy to hold?
Yep. Borrow against it. Is that what you mean?
Just leverage your trade.
Oh yeah. You can trade XRP on Phemex with leverage. It's one of the few coins that you can trade on a coin margin.
More curious about strategy, whether it makes more sense to just buy it at face value or if to leverage it for keeping purposes, for holding purposes.
I do both. And I also trade it on a USDT margin as well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nico, hey, this is Chris. Appreciate everything. I had a question regarding collateralization with XRP because, most platforms, they'll accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Is there a good platform that's trustworthy that, obviously not financial advice, but that you're aware of that you would consider using or that's out there? Like, I'm familiar with CoinRabbit, but is there anything else available?
Well, that Jay Claver guy that we were just speaking about, he's got some institutional lending platforms that will lend on it. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. You might want to reach out to him. Also, Nexo, Nexo, similar situation as Phemex, where they do require you're going to need a VPN or you're going to need to set up your account in a different jurisdiction. Nexo. I mean, 4 years ago, we were borrowing against Bitcoin and Ethereum on Nexo. Nexo is still a lender for all of these assets, but you do got a KYC and all that stuff, and which is not really a big deal, but it kind of is when you're not in the right jurisdiction. So I'm not sure how to get around that with Nexo, but it is something for you to keep maybe written down because it is a platform that you can use. There's also ways, guys, to set up entities in other countries. You can get a driver's license in Costa Rica and a bank account and a mailing address with one phone call. So I'm not going to give you the contact to do that, but you can Google it because it might be a little shady to do that. I'm not sure whether that's legal or not. I think it is legal, but you can there's a lot of expatriation websites that show you how to do all that stuff. So if you really want to set yourself up with a mailing address and a driver's license and a real legal physical address and entity in an unrestricted country, you can do it. And then you would just use your VPN to log in from that country. But I'm not advocating to do that, guys. I'm just saying there's ways around everything. But have the problem first, generally, before you try to solve the problem. If your XRP goes to 30 million, it goes to $1,000 per XRP, and you got $30 million with XRP sitting there, now you got a good problem. Now you can go fix those problems, consult with whoever you want, pay them whatever consulting fee they need, and set up your accounts appropriately at that point. You might have some transfer fees, you might have some consulting fees, no big deal at that point.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but I am doing that, by the way, Krista. I'm holding, I'm hodling. I have cold storage wallets. I also have centralized exchanges like Coinbase and crypto.com. I also have the trading platform here in Phemex. I also have, I also trade on multiple different sub accounts, some with a XRP margin, some with a USDT margin. So kind of mixing it up.
Hey, Nico, I've got a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've been sitting here a few minutes trying to think of the right way to phrase this, but I talked to Jake Claver.
Okay.
But I got a weird feeling and I stopped. And I'll go back for a second and tell you that I have a lot of trouble trusting people just because I've had a handful of times. So I talked to him via email, and it kind of seemed like it was AI generated or something. It just didn't seem like I was talking to somebody real. And so I have everything on exchanges. I do not have any cold wallets. And really, the only reason is because I lack trust. I don't even trust myself and my own abilities. And I'm afraid of, pardon my French, I'm afraid of screwing something up. And
sure.
There's many people in here that have way more than I do, but man, I've got enough. It would really hurt for me to lose that. So I'm trying to figure out what the best avenue is, whether to put it in a cold wallet or institutional custody and try to get some staking funds or, I don't know, any general thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I'm diversified in a bunch of different, I've been with Coinbase since they started, probably 10 years now. I don't have any problem with them. I've never had a problem with them. Some people have. Some people don't like Coinbase. Some people say their money's been frozen. Some people say they lost something, or the problem with the Coinbase that I see that most people have is that if you accidentally log into Coinbase using a VPN, or while your VPN's on for Phemex or whatever, then they're going to block your account. They're going to think someone's hacking you and you're not going to be able to get in. You have to KYC with Coinbase. Coinbase, centralized exchange. It is a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. It is one of the largest in the world. I think second only to Binance. And you got to have some level of trust in them, but at the same time, it is a centralized exchange. And there's an old saying in crypto is not your keys, not your crypto. Basically means that if they wanted to, they could block you. Could they technically take your crypto? I mean, legally, no. But what if there was some kind of lawsuit against Coinbase? What if they were hacked? What if something happened to Coinbase and their servers went down or whatever? You would have no access to your crypto, and you would think that it was gone. Now, Coinbase will always tell you whenever they're down or whatever they're doing maintenance, there'll be a little pop-up window when you log in that says your crypto is safe. Temporarily under service, your crypto is safe. You gotta have, and I think that I think they are even FDIC insured up to a certain point because they are a publicly traded company. I just don't know the exact numbers there. With all that being said, would I trust them with my life or with all my crypto? No. But like you, I don't trust anybody either when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, and that Jay Claver, I don't think you were talking to him. He charges $5,000 for a 30-minute phone call. So I doubt he's going to go back and forth with an email. He probably does have autoresponders. Just so you know, guys, we have AI generated responses. If you register for our webinar, you're going to get an automatic response welcoming you to the registration. It ain't me typing that message, I can tell you that, because we have thousands of people registering for webinars. We don't have the time to do that. So most companies do have built-in, most commonly asked questions or responses, and that's normal. That doesn't mean they're scam. That just means that one person can't handle all the replies, so we have to have the computer automatically reply. If someone registers, it's an automatic welcome text or email. If they respond to that saying, hey, how do I do this? It's a general automatic, it's an AI software that reads their question and gives the most logical answer. And if it's not correct, here's a way to get your question answered. Now, if they respond asking something specific or wanting to talk to me, our assistant will see that because she's going through all of them and saying, hey, this person asked this. How do you want me to respond, or do you want to respond? And then I will go and personally respond to that person. But in the beginning, yeah, it's mostly AI. So I apologize that that's the way the world is these days, but it is. You have to. You can't even keep track. You wouldn't even be able to respond to all the people. Also, like on my Instagram and on Facebook, on Instagram, I have something called ManyChat. ManyChat is an automatic responder. Someone puts a keyword in like crypto or more information, they're going to get an automatic link sent to them. It's not me sending it, it's automatic. But it is the real me sending it to them, but it's not me typing it in. So with that being said, you got to have some level of trust with these companies, but there is a way to verify who you're speaking with. Make sure you go to his website, make sure you're emailing his real email address, all that kind of stuff. And you can always ask in a response to the email, ask, is this a real person that I'm speaking to? Or is this a automatic responder type of situation? Contact them, call them, book a call with the real people. I think it's $300 to speak to one of his representatives. It's not cheap, guys. It's not cheap when you get to this level to talk to people that now am I vouching for him? No. Do I know him personally? No. But I do know he's being interviewed on some of the biggest podcasts, and he's got a pretty big operation, and it's in the financial services industry, insurance products and corporate structure and things like that. So, I mean, he's legit that way, but as far as trusting him with your crypto, you're not sending your crypto, I don't think, to him. They do have a concierge service where they have custodialship and things like that, but it's third party. It's usually law firms and things like that do that kind of stuff. So with that being said, guys, send me a message if you have questions about that. But Kevin, I don't think there's anything wrong with building your account on Coinbase. Me personally, I'm not going to put all my trust and faith into them, but I have been using it for a long time, and I do have a substantial amount on there. But I've also never had a problem selling, transferring money from Coinbase, from my bank to Coinbase, or transferring back out. Never had a problem. Some people do, but I never had a problem. So now I am verified up to the highest level in Coinbase. I am KYC, all that stuff. But that's my experience with them. And they are a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. You can't get any more, centralized than that. They're basically the biggest crypto bank in America. So you got to have some level.
I haven't had any trouble with Coinbase. I am KYC. I've been on there for, I don't know, probably 5 years or so. I feel like, though, if price does appreciate, I mean, who knows? I feel like I'd like to hang on to most of my crypto.
Absolutely.
On a way to generate some cash flow, be it staking or loan it out or something like that. And again, the problem is I realize I'm pretty ignorant on a lot of that. And so it's kind of like, who do you have to have trust and faith in somebody, and who is that? Is that Jake? Is there somebody else? I mean, maybe.
I mean, I do use Descent cold storage wallet. It's a Web3 based cold storage. It's, you got to be careful with that. You just got to know what you're doing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Kip said, for as many fake Nikos there are out there, there's probably 10 times more fake Jake Clavers. So guys, I have impersonators myself, and I'm nobody in the grand scheme of things compared to that guy as far as popularity goes. So I got people pretending to be me. So if you don't see that blue check next to my name on Instagram or Coinbase or Facebook, it's not me. So just be careful who you talk to out there. But There is a real his page. There is a real website for him. There is a real, and I did share that before. But send me a DM. I wouldn't worry so much as far as Coinbase goes, but yeah, in addition to Coinbase, I would set up some wallets. I would make sure that they are Web3 based cold storage wallets.
Is
And
the
I don't have time to
Nano
explain. Say that again.
is the Nano the Ledger Nano X a Web3
I believe so. Yes.
co-wallet? Okay. And
Yeah, those are-
also Bitcoin I think is going up if you want to check it real quick.
Yes, it is. I am up about 8% on that trade.
Yay.
Let's see what it's doing. Did I go long? I went long on a coin margin. It is bouncing.
Yes, you did.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so we got a little bit of a pump. I'll show this real quick. By the way, guys, if you're brand new, you need to get over to the onboarding call that Bill already started at 2 p.m. He posted the links in, not only in the Zoom chat here, but also in the main Discord here, in the trade chat right here. Bill posted that link right here, also in the announcements channel right here, and also in this Zoom chat up here. So I'm going to go back to the trade. You can see Bitcoin is bouncing on this support, and it is starting to pump a little bit. Hopefully it continues to do that. And I do got to wrap up this call, guys. I'm very late. I texted my party and told them I'm going to be 15 minutes late.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Yes.
I know this is going to sound silly to a lot of y'all, but it's like, do you wait for it to hit your stop loss or you take profit? Say it's pumping way up before it starts to drop and your take profit is higher. I saw that close all trades or close a trade or hit market or something. What is best to do and what don't do? Like to close out.
Let's just say my take profit was up here and my
Yes.
stop loss is right here where it's at.
Okay.
Let's just say this starts to climb and it gets up to about here. It didn't quite hit my TP yet.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I could grab my stop loss down here and move my stop loss up to here and lock in that profit. So if I do that and it doesn't hit my TP, but it starts to come back down and hits my stop loss, at least I'll be taking out in profit up here.
Okay, thank
The
you.
other
That's
option
what I wanted
is you
to.
could grab your TP and move it so that it hits and triggers, or you could just wait for it to hit your TP. Or you can just come over here to the far right of your open position, all the way down here to market, click on market order and click close long and just take your profit wherever it is, wherever you want to take it.
Okay, show me that again. Where did you put, where was it closed long? I don't see that.
Down here on the open position,
Yeah.
all the way to the end, it says market order, limit market. Click on market and just click close long.
Okay, thank you.
Or
Thank
short.
you.
It depends on if you're short. Also right here, it's already set at 100%. So it'll close the whole thing out. But if you only want to close half of it, unless the rest run, you can close out half of it or 3/4 of it or whatever percentage you want.
Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. Great to talk to you today. If you have any questions, ask it in the main chat. Just get on the onboarding. If you're new or even if you're not new and you need some basics questions answered, get on the onboarding call. Bill's already on there right now. Have a great rest of your day. I am sharing I'm going to go in here to my trade signal channel and I'm going to put in the trades that I'm in right now, just so you can see Nico's current position. So you can see my entries and everything right there. And if I change anything or add to it, I will post that in there, in their signal channel. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day.